This Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank. Banking your way every day.
Hey everyone, Frank DeRaffele here. Welcome to this week's Business Newsmakers. I'm here today with John McDonald, who is the General Manager of Gallant Graphics, based in Stanfordville, New York. And they've been around since the 70s, even though you may be looking at John going, he can't have been around since the 70s. But he's there. He's the General Manager now. And John, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Look, before we kind of get into the business itself, tell us a little about your history, because you're a local boy. So tell us kind of where'd you grow up and your history in the area.
I grew up in the village of Wappingers. I went to Sheaf Road Elementary, Wappingers Junior High, Ketchum High School. I always had an interest in art and you know, sort of marketing and displays, and I really liked newspapers and things like that. In fact, I had a newspaper route when I was 9 years old, and it was for the still in operation Southern Dutchess News, and that's where I fell in love with printing. My parents had a newspaper route, and when I was 4 years old, I would go with them and load newspapers off the dock into the car, and would see these big machines running, and I knew right away that I wanted to do printing my whole life.
That's so funny, right? How we find things like that.
Yeah.
Let's go to the graphic side first. You said you always had an interest in art. So tell us, what first drew you to art? What was the art that you were really attracted to at first? I
always had a crayon or a pencil in my hand. I took private art classes just a few blocks from the offices here. And, you know, I adored art classes in school, and it was more, in my younger days, it was more comic book style, because that's really what I saw being printed when I was a young kid, was some publications in comic books. And, you know, it turned into pastel art from there, and charcoal art, and really the subject matter made no difference. As long as I was able to do something like that, I enjoyed doing that.
Fantastic. So you're into art, you're kind of developing that end, and then somehow you find the interest in the printing. And how did you end up merging the two? How did that come about?
I immediately got a job out of high school for the newspaper in the department where they would make the printing plates, which was slightly artistic. I got to do some things in there. We would do color separations by hand, you know, pre-computer days, which makes me sound pretty old. And I just knew it, you know, the machinery, all the processes that went along with it. I said, this is what I have to do. I went to BOCES for graphic communications, which they do printing and photography and graphic design and all that stuff. And I never looked back. I never wanted to do anything else.
So when you got in and you're first doing that, did you see where it could lead down the road, or you just kind of, the path just took you where it went in terms of where you are today?
The path just took me, you know, it was just a natural succession. After there, I went to various print shops in the area to learn different processes and different machinery and see what everybody was doing as far as their marketing plans, you know, what type of printing they were doing, and how I could advance my future through different processes and equipment.
Cool. So tell us about Gallant Graphics then. Tell us what exactly is this company? What does it do? What's your specialty?
Sure. In 1979, the business owner saw an opportunity to work for the luxury auto industry. And he got a few small printers and worked out of his dining room for a while. And it just grew and grew and grew. And we're still in that same spot in Stanfordville on the residence there. Now we've taken over a couple of the buildings, his two-car garage and his barn. And we print anything from technical training material for the luxury auto industry to shirts, banners, posters, business cards. We do marketing materials like pens, mugs, hats, all that stuff. We do screen printing. We do embroidery and direct to garment, which is printing like a home printer works. You put a garment in a machine, you press print, and out comes your full color photographic t-shirt.
So you're now working at the dining room, or in the car, or in the barn? Where are you working at?
I work in the barn. We've converted the barn. The upstairs is offices, downstairs is all the garments, and then the two-car garage is where all the printing is. And we have state-of-the-art technology. You know, you would think a garage and a barn, but that's just the shell. The inside is all state-of-the-art, brand new, high-end stuff, and we've got an amazing crew that operates all of that equipment.
It's funny you say that, because I find that a lot with up here in other parts of the country I go to. When I go to kind of rural areas, people are running things out of barns, out of different places. And again, from the outside, you don't know it exists. You walk inside, you're going, holy cow, what is this? And it's just amazing, you know? So in terms of, you know, you're the general manager there. Talk to us a little about, where do you see the business now, and where do you see it going in the next few years?
Well, we've expanded away from, excuse me, not away from, but expanded on top of the ink on paper into garments and promotional products, because that's the way the industry is going, and that's how people want to order things now. Someone comes in for business cards and they say, hey, do you do t-shirts? And we used to say no, but down the road somebody does. So we took the opportunity and purchased some equipment to do that, and brought on a great staff. I really see the business growing more towards that end of things.
Okay.
More towards garments, more towards promotional products. Business cards are, I don't want to say they're a thing of the past, but everybody's emailing and everybody's texting and all that stuff, and that's how a lot of business happens now. But at the same token, some of the older technology is coming back, and that's very, very popular. It's a novelty now to get an invitation in the mail as opposed to an evite or a text or something from social media, and that's one of the directions that the industry is going. It's going backwards a little bit. As long as it's niche and as long as it's novelty stuff, there's a hot market for that.
Wow, that's really interesting to see kind of what's old comes new again, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of going that way.
Yep.
So in terms of, let's talk about your perfect type of client. Who is it that you're looking for? People that are watching out there who are small business owners, are those type of people that you work with? Are they too small for you? Who are you looking at?
No, nobody's too small.
Okay.
We boast that we have no minimums on anything that we do because of the machinery and the technology that we have. Certainly direct to garment, if you need one shirt, we put it on that plat and we can print one shirt and you go home. I think the perfect client for us is a small business. Small business has so many needs because they want to market in so many different directions. Let's say a landscaping company. They're going to have a truck, they're going to have a trailer. It's all going to need vinyl lettering on that, which we do, or if it's beyond our capabilities, we have sister companies that will work with us. They're going to need shirts, hoodies, hats, all that stuff for their crew. They're going to need business cards, flyers, graphic design.
Great point.
And that's all stuff that we do right in-house. We don't have to send hardly anything out, and when we do, we send it out locally.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like you're kind of a little hidden treasure in the area that, even though you've been along for a while, some people don't know because you're sitting out there in this barn.
That's right.
You weren't aware. So,
That's right.
So people want to find out more about you. Is there a website they can go to, a phone call they can use? What
Yes,
can they do?
it's www.gallongraphics.com. We have a great Facebook page. We have an Instagram, and 845-868-1166 is our phone number, and there's always somebody there Monday through Friday.
Well, look, I appreciate your coming on the show, but I appreciate what you guys do, because for me, when I'm talking about business, I always tell people there's marketing, sales, customer service, management, leadership, and the first one is marketing. If you can't get people to find out about you, to knock on your door, ring your phone, your business is going to die. So what you do is a really important aspect for businesses to kind of get that initial interest in them. So I appreciate what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody, thanks for being here today.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Frank.
Hey guys, that's this week's Business Newsmakers. Please make sure you go to gallantgraphics.com, is that correct? Go there, find out more, and I think there'll be a great way to help your business. Tune in next week for our next local business owner here on Business Newsmakers.